Alright, welcome everybody to the stream. We are jumping back into Battletech. So this was what was voted for in the community vote. So we are going to play some Battletech on our Iron Man campaign custom difficulty mode. We're probably going to do this, give it about 4 hours of content for Battletech, and then we will swap games to something else. Again, this is community day, so if there's a game that you want to play or something co-op that you would like to play with me on stream, then you can just simply type that in the chat. Let me know what it is, and we can look to see if that's something we can do for the stream. Again, it can't be anything with like mature content or anything like that, but if you do have a game that you would like to play on stream with me, then put it in the chat and we'll get that going today. So we're going to just use Battletech as the placeholder right now, since it was the most voted for game from last week. So we'll continue this Iron Man playthrough. And basically the way it works is any decision that I make within the game is 100% final. Can't take it back. If I lose a pilot to a headshot or cockpit core or something like that, then that is final. That pilot is dead, and then I'll have to look for a replacement. The mech difficulty acquisition is increased, so what that means is normally you only need so many parts to get a new mech, right? That you have to either pay for, kill and destroy and receive as salvage or something of that nature. So now it requires more parts to get a mech, which slows down my progression in the game significantly and increases the risk. Simply because I have to fight against higher level mechs with lower tier mechs for a longer period of time. So that's essentially where we are right now. We're jumping right into it. So we're going to take a look at what contracts are available to us here. So we've got two that require us to travel that are two skull contracts. And we might want to shy away from doing that for a moment. But there are a couple of contracts here which could give us some additional funds to buy components that we need. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. So let's see, great event to a pirate mercenary company. We need you to track him down and destroy his mech. Alright, so this is just a search and destroy, essentially, in jungle. So we'll negotiate that. We're going to go very little salvage, one piece guaranteed, and then max cash, because that's what we're looking for. And then we'll do our loadouts. So we've got our Centurion. That's right, the last mission that we did on stream, we could only take a single mech into that battle. So we took our Centurion. So this run, we're going to take our Blackjack. I'm going to put myself in that one. And then we're going to take... Let's take our Shadowhawk. And we'll put Glitch in that. And then I'll go with one Scout. I'll put Decker in that. So that gives us a couple of support mechs, a brawl mech, and then we have our Scout. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. And we'll get going. So essentially, the way the game operates, it's typically everything's turn-based, right? So you get your mechs that drop, and you can kind of move them around into flanking positions. But what I really like about the game is the way that the damage is dealt based on the direction your mech is facing. So you can, just do small variance changes in your approach to taking on an enemy. Absorb more damage in your armor. Now, once your armor's gone, it goes into structure, critical components, and things start exploding. So you don't want to take internal structure damage in this game. Okay, so that's the war criminal. So we've got a mech there that we need to hunt down. So a little trick about the game is if you kill a mech by taking out its legs, you can get more components for it. So if we find a mech that's something we want to,
earn our money.
capture for ourselves, then that's kind of the approach that you would take to it. Alright, so we've got a mech here. I'm just going to move my scout up over the ridge. Okay, and it's a light. The reason you can tell is the initiative count, so yeah, it's a fire starter. So what we do here is we're gonna, since he's moved, we're gonna go and take our scout, and we're gonna remove some of the pips on this scout. But at the same time, I want to continue moving forward and scouting with my mech to make sure there's no other threats. And look, there's two on the other side of the ridge here. So we got one back here, one here, one here. So obviously that's a threat. So we'll try to neutralize this fire starter right out the gate with a sensor lock.
Sensors locked
and what
on.
that does is it removes a couple of evasion pips off of the mech. So that way, it's a lot easier to hit. The more evasion pips a target has, the more difficult it becomes to do any damage to it. And each time that you fire at a mech, it will remove one evasion pip. So the first time I fire at this guy, it's going to remove his last evasion pip, and then all the subsequent damage that I do will be at 0 evasion pips. So my chance to hit is very high. So typically what I'll do is I'll take my brawler, right? And I know I want to move my brawler into position at the top of the ridge anyway.
Copy that.
So I'll move him up, and then I'll unload everything at this target. It's not going to have as good of a chance to hit because he has an evasion pip, but that's okay. It's going to remove the last one, and then my 2 support mechs can finish. So there goes his evasion pip. Alright, we're going to have to move this scout out of this location.
Minimal damage on that hit.
We're going to keep moving our supports, but we're going to keep them behind the ridge line. That way they're not exposed to all the mechs over there. And we'll use the jump jets on the light to get it back over the ridge line. But now this is, you can see everything is green. So more than likely I'm going to kill this on this.
All weapons emitted.
Alright, so we took out a leg there. This means the remaining mech, when it fires, is going to have a guaranteed called shot. So called shot means that I can choose specifically where I want to target on the mech. And so anytime a mech is knocked down, it's, you're very, very vulnerable. So you can kind of see, like, we'll take this, we're going to specifically select the center torso. Because the core is behind the center torso.
Take this!
Alright, and we killed him.
Should have run when you had the chance!
Okay. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit of melee here, which is bad for us because it ignores everything. And now the structure on my spider is exposed. So I need to get them out of there as quick as possible. Alright, so now we've got 3 mechs here. We want to get our light mech out of harm's way. So we're going to jump him all the way back.
Firing jump jet.
Hold on, I'm going to take this phone call real quick. Sorry about that. It was my fiance calling, and she was saying, "You're not streaming." And I was like, "I am streaming. I'm live right now. Yeah, you should be able to go watch me. We're 10 minutes in." Anyway, moving on. So we're in round 2, essentially, of this fight. What we're gonna do with the spider now is, since we already used the sensor lock earlier, we have the option to use it again. There is a medium mech, and the medium mech is on a higher initiative, right? So Your light mechs are always going to be initiative 4. They're going to go first. Your mediums are going to be initiative 3. Your heavies are going to be initiative 2, and your assault mechs will be initiative 1. So the heavier the mech, essentially the lower in the turn that it's going to go. Anyway, so we're not going to use our sensor lock on this one because I need to reposition. So we're going to brace him in position there. We're going to let the enemy move forward. Now, when you brace, you get guarded and entrenched, which gives you a reduction of the damage that is dealt to the mechs, and it also helps with incoming fire. And you can see that with the icons above the light mech here. So you can see he's got the tree icon because he's in cover, and he's got the entrenched icon, which is the shield there, and then he's max evasion pipped, so it shouldn't be an issue. Now we're going to move our brawler up into the top of the mountain here on the ridge line to be able to engage both targets. Also, we want this mech to be able to absorb the incoming fire because it has more armor than the other mechs that I have. So if we look at this, which one of these would I shoot? So I've got one that's max evasion, almost max evasion pipped, and then I've got a flea that's only got 2 evasion pips, but it's also guarded and entrenched and in cover, right? So shooting this flea is almost impossible. So we're going to go for the spider. We can increase with a precision strike, which is based on our resolve. So as your resolve goes up throughout the match by getting kills and doing that type of thing, then you can spin that resolve on these functions, such as vigilance, which gives you guard and entrenched. It also increases your initiative. So if you need to put one of your larger mechs to remove at the same time as a light, then that's really advantageous to you, especially if you need to withdraw or get out of a position. So the precision strike we're going to do on the flea will only give us 60, 40, 40, 35, 35. So our chance of hitting is still extremely small. I would say let's not spend a precision strike on this. So generally what I would do is try to do a multi-shot, but I have not unlocked this on this character. So we're just gonna shoot the spider and hope for the best. We're not really worried about
Firing
heat
full
generation
complement
here. Alright, so we did get a leg shot there, which is good. So now the enemy's gonna move their medium into position. Alright, there goes our evasion pip. Alright, so now at this point we want to go ahead and get our bigger guns up on the ridge line. The unfortunate thing is this does have jump jets, but it generates a lot of heat, and we are on a planet where it's jungle, right? So if you look at the tropical biome, it increases your heat sinking ability by 10%, right? So we can essentially jump jet more often and farther and not have to worry about our heat. The other thing that's good about the jump jets is if you look at a move, right, I'm only going to gain 1 evasion pip by doing that. If I jump jet, I'm going to get 4 evasion pips and put me in a decent position to fire. So this is what we're going to do. The 4 evasion pips is pretty critical just because we want to make sure that if this unit gets fired on, it doesn't have as much armor as the Centurion, that it's going to be able to deal with it. So anyway, this one also has multi-target. So if I wanted to split my fire and shoot that flea to remove an evasion pip and then put the rest here, I could. It does give you an aim penalty when doing that. So anyway, we're not going to fire everything because we don't want to overheat. We're going to take off one of the M lasers, such as this one. And then we can actually do a called shot if we wanted to, or a precision strike. We're not going to. We're going to save that.
Engaging target.
Alright, so that's another bit of evasion down.
I hear ya.
And on this one, we're not going to worry about, because this has got a little more armor, so we're not going to worry about jump jetting right now. And it generates a lot more heat than the blackjack does. So we'll put this into position. Again, still bad chances to fire here. We missed just about everything. We hit a couple misses
Let's
on
get
that
this
spider,
done, folks.
and that was it. Alright.
Light damage. Holding firm.
Alright, so we've got our light at
Yes,
this
Commander.
point, and since their light did not move, we're going to remove him to this side of the battlefield.
Move order received.
Re-engage the light mech. Because now he has no evasion tips.
Copy that.
And we missed both shots at point blank range.
Negative damage.
Gotta love some RNG. Gotta love some RNG. Alright, once these get close enough, we're gonna switch to going to melee. Alright, we got critical heat on
Warning.
our,
Warning low. Heat exceeding recommended level.
What's up, boss?
So now we're gonna brawl. We're just gonna go in and brawl this light.
Targeting for physical attack. Target's taking a critical hit.
Okay, so there's a Centurion. So ideally on the Centurion, I would like to capture, I would like to take its legs out and get some pieces of that, if possible. In order to do that, I need to mitigate all the other mechs
What can
that
I
are
do
here.
for you?
So the first thing we're going to do is go to our blackjack, and this thing needs to cool down. So we're not going to move it. We're going to do precision strike, and we're going to do it on the spider. We're going to take the M laser off. Specifically, we're going to do a core shot and fire.
Engaging target. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Waiting for orders.
And same thing here, except we are going to move this unit and start relocating it around.
On my way.
The Shadowhawk's got more armor than the Blackjack, so I'm kind of shifting it to the front. And then we're going to do a multi-target here, just because we're going to start softening up the Centurion with LRMs. And then everything else is going to go onto the Spider.
Uh-huh.
Target damaged. Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Okay, it caused an ammo explosion there, so that mech is
Hot damn.
toast.
Let's do this.
Warning. Armor low.
Commander,
Alright, we don't want our unit to get flanked here, so we're going to move our scout to
move.
kind of cut that flank off. And then we're going to go ahead and sensor lock their scout.
I've got a sensor lock.
Alright, we just took a huge hit on our blackjack, lost one of
Warning.
our weapons.
Weapon system destroyed.
That is a permanent loss on the weapon system there.
Waiting on you, Commander. Got it.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and pull him back.
Engaging target.
Alright, that's the light destroyed.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Commander.
Alright, now we start engaging the larger mech. We're going to move into the forest with our
Affirmative.
Centurion, so we have a little extra cover. And everything gives us about an 18%, so again, we're going to go for that upper torso shot.
Affirmative.
Trying to remove that. We did get a head hit there, so we did a pilot injury.
Receiving you.
We're gonna work on flanking our spider around. We'll brace him.
What can I do for you? Got it.
Now, one thing you got to be careful about is if you have your mechs close together like this and they fire, a stray shot can hit one of your other mechs. So it is actually good to keep them apart, but I'm going to move this Centurion in a bit.
This should be good.
We're working on wearing that armor down. Again, we're going to keep the Blackjack out of the fight just because he has lost a weapon, 2 weapon systems. And now we're on our Behemoth. So we can go into melee range at this point if we want. I'm actually going to move him into point blank
Moving out.
on the side. And then we do a called shot, and we're going to go for the leg, which is a 48% chance to hit now. Firing everything.
Locking in all weapon systems.
It's now his turn, so he may go into melee now. No. So we took a 40% damage reduction on that because of a passive bulwark plus the
Ready for orders.
cover bonus. So now that this guy is up here, we're gonna get up behind him with the
Got it.
scout.
Roger.
It also removes one of the evasion pips off of him. So he relocated immediately, and this is on a higher difficulty, so
I hear ya.
but now we're gonna go into brawl.
I read you, Commander.
2 mechs
Moving
versus
out.
1 in a melee brawl.
Ugh!
We killed the CT with that shot. That was good.
Gotcha.
It was just a 1-shot kill. All right.
Mission successful.
Alright, so really good on that mission. We did get some money, but we're going to see how much it costs us to repair. We lost an M laser and an AC2, so we got to see if we got spares for that. Let's go next. So we're going to take this Centurion piece here, the Centurion C9A. There was no AC2 listed in here, but that's the one item we want, so that's a 50-ton mech. And then we'll hit that. Looks like we got a little bit extra here. Hit continue. So got a little bit of cash, got 1 piece of salvage from that mission, but we need to see how much our repairs are going to cost us from both a time and money perspective. So that's one thing you got to balance out. So every month in this game, essentially you have bills that you have to pay. So you need to be able to make more money than you lose in order to really progress. So in order to find out how much that damage is going to cost us, we're going to go into our mech bay here. Then we're going to hit the refit button on our Blackjack. So that's what's going to bring us into here. So we do have a spare AC2. So we're just going to click replace on the arm. And then we're going to put in the AC2 and 1 medium laser. So you can see, take care of both of those. It's going to cost $43,000, but we do want to do a quick repair all, right? So we just hit this button here. That's going to repair everything. So it's going to cost us 58,300 credits, essentially, to do that repair. It's also going to take 14 days. So that's half of a month's pay cycle that we're going to be out. This is going to be out of use. So we'll confirm that. Confirm that.
On it.
And then we took a
I'll let you
little
know
bit of
when that's
damage
done.
to our spider. Not a whole lot. So we're just going to hit the repair. That's going to take 2 days. So if we take another mission, we'd have to do it without the blackjack. We do have a Vindicator, and we do have some other mechs to do that, but we'll have to wait at least a few days for the spider to finish, which is fine. So the way you do that, you can just skip some stuff in the star map, and this is the navigation pane. But we are going to take and kind of do kill two birds with one stone here. So we have a first strike mission here. We have this one, which is a deniable destruction mission. So we could take this one, and essentially they want us to kill a base, it looks like. Some kind of thing. Yeah, wants us to level a base. So we can do this one, and just skip a few. So if you go into navigation star map here, this shows where we can travel, where our priority missions are, etc. Right? So this is one that we would need to travel to and do, or we can pay to travel there and work it a little bit differently. One of the things that we want to look at is doing these one skull missions right now, because we're trying to get one more medium mech before we increase our difficulty setting, right? So if we increase the difficulty, so we want to look at this, right? So this is going to bring up the difficulty 1 missions and where they're located. So that's essentially where we want to be right now. So if we travel the 17 days to go to this location, then we're gonna have access to difficulty 1 contracts, which will give us larger mechs, and that's really all we can do right now because we have a bunch of lights and a few mediums. And then we're going to progress to the 2. So, but anyway, we're one medium mech short right now of being able to do it. So anyway, the 2 travel contracts we have take us to 1.5, which would be extremely dangerous for us to do the Detroit contract. We could probably do it. It's a 1.5. In fact, I might do that. Let's go contracts. Let's take a look. 2. So now these are all much more difficult. That other contract is no longer available. The one that we did, it's all 2 skull, and we're looking for 1.5 at most right now. 2 skull would be entirely too difficult. This is going to be a lot of medium mechs, and we would get wrecked right now. I mean, we just don't have the armor to withstand that kind of bombardment, and I don't have a long-range mech right now, like a missile-based platform, to kind of be able to do that. This is BattleTech. It is a it used to be, well, not used to be. It's an old tabletop game, and they essentially converted it into a PC game where you essentially deploy groups of mechs onto planets and complete missions. And then this is on an Iron Man mode, so that means that any decision that I make is final. Is it free? I don't. Let me check. Give me a second. I'll check the current, because I think I got it through Steam at some point, but I don't know. It's been a while because it's been out for a while. I'm just gonna check the price. So I have all of the expansions. It looks like it's $40 right now.